So the PS Vita is an amazing device that I definitely think you should get in 2023, but it isn't perfect. The community can't make it perfect. Sony can't make it perfect. No one can make it perfect. So there are going to be some caveats when you purchase a PS Vita, and this video is going to be about that exactly. Here are going to be some reasons why you probably shouldn't buy a PlayStation Vita in 2023. Let's be honest and dive right in. First, I wanted to talk about emulation capabilities. The PlayStation Vita can emulate a lot of systems, all the way up until the PSP, essentially. And because of it having double the resolution of the PSP screen, you should be able to do 2x natively with no problems on your Vita. But beyond that, you're pretty much limited. You can't emulate PlayStation 2, GameCube, Wii, and the like. Granted, this isn't the Vita's fault, because the Vita came out in 2012, and the fact that it can emulate so much already is pretty fantastic. But if you wanted to emulate some higher-end systems, then the Vita just isn't cut out for that, like at all. It will have its limitations, and as long as you understand that, then you will be happy with your Vita. But if you wanted a portable PlayStation 2, then this isn't it, because it just isn't powerful enough. Now, there are going to be devices in 2023 that are similarly priced to the Vita and can play PlayStation 2, but might struggle to emulate Vita, so there is that. Next one is aging. So, like I said earlier, the first Vita model came out in 2012, which is 11 years ago. While this system has a huge community behind it, it is a much older system, which means that eventually the community will reach the peak of what the Vita can accomplish, and then it slowly dies out. As for how long that might take, I do not know, but it will happen probably sooner rather than later. And look, I think that the Vita does stand the test of time to this day, but I find myself using it less as of lately. Because I want a more modern UI to tinker with, I want higher end games to play on the go, etc. So there is no denying that the Vita is well alive today, but soon enough it just won't be. It's going to be an officially dead handheld. Next is that the PlayStation Vita has a pretty nice library of games. However, there are two issues. You can get all of your games physically and stick with a small memory card that you will still eventually need to upgrade because it's that small. Their memory cards are super expensive even today. Never mind that, if you want to stick to a digital library, then you will probably be getting a 64GB card for more than what the Vita itself is worth. But you can also go with the SD to Vita solution and just buy an adapter that lets you use a microSD card instead, which is a lot cheaper. You can store all of your games there too. But I have found that I personally got pretty tired of Vita games pretty quickly. It has a nice library of games, but not all of these are fun forever, obviously. For me, there were only a handful of games within the entire library that I actually cared for, and I'm done playing them. So unless I have games to emulate, I won't touch the Vita anymore. It might be the same case for you too, so do keep that in mind. Just do yourself a favor and look up first which games you want to play, then decide if it's worth buying an entire console over it. And lastly is that there are going to be plenty of other alternatives for emulation that honestly are just more comfortable to work with and have more modern design choices that really do make a difference. You may not be able to emulate Vita games, but these will be able to emulate up to PSP and even some PS2 and GameCube titles. Devices such as the Palkity X18S Black Edition, the Retro Pocket 3 Plus, the Anbernic RG505, and many more. But these are at the lower end when it comes to pricing. But if you're looking for something more potent, then you can get the Iron Odin, the Razer Edge, the Logitech G Cloud, among many others to consider. There are just a lot of options for emulation. Now, obviously, if you want to play Vita games, then just get the Vita. But if you want to emulate some higher end systems and are concerned about the lifespan of your Vita and the like, then you should look at the very many different alternatives that you have. The Vita is still a fantastic handheld, but it's not a perfect handheld, and for some, it really might not be what you're looking for. So these have been some reasons why you probably shouldn't get the PlayStation Vita, but I will be leaving my positive takes linked in the description of this video for your convenience. Now, thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. I do very much appreciate it. If you disagree with anything that I said, please let me know in the comments, because I am always open to a dialogue, and believe me, I do think that this device is worth it in 2023, it just might not be worth it for everybody, which is the entire point of this video. It's not to just only offer worship to the Vita, but it's also to understand the negatives of going with the Vita as well in 2023. So if you are interested in purchasing a PlayStation Vita, then you should be able to find one fairly easily on eBay, which is what I recommend that you do anyway. So yeah, you won't find any links down below, but still, I recommend that you shop on eBay. Also, I do have other social media where you can find me, such as on Instagram and on Twitch, where I do stream every now and then. Now, with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy.